Hello and welcome to another video. This is a follow-up video to a video that I did on this channel. I did this video not long ago. This video was about a woman who was killed in Minneapolis, Minnesota by an ICE agent. And in that video, when I was talking about what happened to that woman at the hands of ICE, I said some things that kind of rubbed someone the wrong way, that led to someone giving me a dislike. And I'm not upset about it, and I really don't care. But I just want to clear the light on that. And it's like this. What I said about the US and Canada, basically what I was saying about these two countries here in North America, I was lumping them all together on them being two countries that lack social or human connection, where everybody's segregated, isolated, paranoid, and fake. So I'm going to take the terms paranoid and fake and take them away from Canada, because I don't live in Canada. I've been to that country, but I never lived there. It's like this. In Canada, some parts of the country lack social or human connection. Everybody is segregated and isolated. And you have passive aggression in Canada. And if you're friends with a Canadian, if you're cool with them, and you form a friendship with them, and you talk to them, and it doesn't matter if you form a friendship with them or not, if you talk to them and be nice to them and be respectful to them and be open and down to earth with them, some Canadians are appreciative of that, but you got some who will stab you in the back and say a lot of negative things about you. And it's kind of scary. And all that's tied in with the lack of social or human connection, social isolation, segregated, isolating. And here in the U.S., there's a lack of social or human connection in America. Here in the United States, everybody's segregated, everybody's isolated, people are paranoid, fake, and plastic. Superficial. It's hard to make any normal friends here. And it's hard to make any normal friends in Canada. But going back to the U.S., everybody wants to be left alone in their own bubbles. People don't want to be bothered. People want to be left alone in their own bubbles. Everybody wants to be in their own world. Nobody doesn't want to talk to each other. Nobody doesn't want to meet each other or get to know each other. And when it comes to talking to people in the U.S., the only way you're going to talk to people in America is through business-related purposes. You only talk to people for business and asking for directions. And that's it. You fly on a plane with an American. You sit next to an American on an American flight or airplane, you sit next to them on the plane. If you sit in the wrong seat, that person who's a man will tell you that you're sitting in the wrong seat. And after all of that, no talking. He doesn't talk to you, you don't talk to him, and he doesn't care if you say anything to him. If you ask him if you want to go to the bathroom, he just gets up and says nothing, and you just get up and just go to the bathroom, use the bathroom, and come back and sit back down next to him. He's watching a movie on his laptop, his notebook computer. And he only talks to you, he only speaks to you if you're sitting in the wrong seat. And telling you that he only speaks to you if you're sitting in the wrong seat, and he tells you you're sitting in the wrong seat. So that's the wrong seat. That's your right seat. That's the seat that you're supposed to sit in. And that happened to me on a flight from DFW International Airport, or Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport in Dallas. Yeah, I catch the flight with my parents and my sister. We flew from Dallas, Texas to Detroit, Michigan. And when I got on that flight, I looked at my boarding pass to find which seat that I was supposed to sit in. So I found my seat, and I went and sat next to the window. It was a guy. It was a white guy. He had like long curly hair, and he had a beard, kind of a beard and a mustache. And he said this to me when I sat next to the seat, next to the window. That's not your seat. Your seat is over there. Meaning that the seat that I was sitting in was the wrong seat. And the seat that I was supposed to sit in, I'm supposed to sit next to him. And through that flight from Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport in Dallas, Texas, all the way up north to DTW, Detroit Wayne International Airport in Detroit, Michigan. Throughout that flight, that guy never spoke to me, and I never spoke to him. We never spoke to each other. And I knew if I talked to him, he'll ignore me. I don't know if he'll speak to me or not. And I know that in America, nobody talks to you. It doesn't matter if you're riding on a train. Not a train. It doesn't matter if you're riding on a subway in New York. It doesn't matter if you be in any setting here in America, along with people. Nobody talks to you. You can be in a huge crowd of people and nobody talks to you. And social isolation is like smoking. The more you engage into it, the more it does damage to your health. You develop heart problems. You start to get sicker. You start to develop dementia, full-blown Alzheimer's disease if it goes to that. That's terrible and it's bad. But if you go to countries, they're all about social or human connection, and people who believe in that and cherish that, and people who are down to earth, then you won't develop those health issues like you do, like you would here in North America. Most notably, the U.S. and also Canada. Yeah, and I noticed while I was on a flight that flew from China to back here in the U.S., I was sitting next to an old lady. She was Chinese and she was with her husband. And when I got some food from from the from the um from the flight attendants. I got some of this food. It was tofu, and that's what I wanted. I asked for tofu. I got the tofu. That's food from China. I was eating it. I ate a little bit of it. And it was okay. I couldn't eat because I was grossed out by what that Chinese woman was doing. And I'm not going to go into that. It was disgusting what she was doing. That grossed me out. That made me not want to eat anything on that plane. Or eat any food on that plane. So she turned to me and said this to me. What's wrong? You didn't want to eat anything? And I didn't get, and she was nice and she cared about me and she wanted me to eat something. She saw that I didn't want to eat anything, not eat something. She saw that I didn't want to eat anything. And she asked me, you don't want to eat anything? And I just shook my head. I didn't want to say anything to her. And I should speak to somebody, and I couldn't do that. Yeah, I didn't get any of that from that guy on that flight from DFW in Dallas to DTW in Detroit. He didn't care. All he cared about, he's just looking at his laptop and looking at a movie. He just ignored me, just completely ignored me. I'm just sitting in the same seat with him. He never spoke to me. Also on that plane from China back here to the U.S., I noticed a guy pulled out a pillow and he asked me, does this belong to you? I said, yeah, that belongs to me. Thank you. And I can tell you why. In the United States or I'm going to say America or the United States, I'm going to say the U.S. Here in the U.S., it's all about individualism, self-reliance. Don't need no help from anybody. Personal space, freedom. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to talk to you. And being independent and working for independent goals, shooting for independent goals and personal growth and personal space and keep away from me and don't stand too close behind me and mind your own business. You mind your business, you mind your own business, I'll mind my own business. In China, it's not like that, or the People's Republic of China. People are like a unit. People care about each other. People don't leave each other out. They talk to each other regardless if they're strangers or their families, and they believe in collectivism or whatever you call it. Everybody's a unit. Everybody cares about each other. Everybody checks on each other. And it's like that in countries that are similar to China. I think like Southeast Asia, I think. So it was a big culture shock for me. And it was. And also, I got off track. Let me go talk about what I said about people in America voting for Donald Trump. Yeah, that kind of angered a lot of people. Not angered a lot of people. It kind of angered one person, and they gave me the thumbs down on that video I did about that woman who died in Minneapolis, Minnesota at the hands of ICE. Okay. People who voted for Donald Trump, they dug a grave for themselves. They dug a grave for themselves, and they have to lie in it. Well, it's like this. What I was saying is I was talking about people who voted for Donald Trump. I'm not bashing people. I'm not lumping in people who didn't vote for Trump. I'm going after people who voted for Donald Trump. Yeah, and him being an authoritarian here in the U.S., creating a horrible immigration program that targets people from other countries and people who are living in this country who are not Americans, and people who come into this country who have negative views on Trump and having their phones searched through TSA and Homeland Security. And I see what Donald Trump is doing in this country, and it's just downright disgusting, and it's wrong. And I didn't, the people who voted for Donald Trump, they are the reason why he's president. They put him in that White House. Then you got people who didn't vote for Trump. They had nothing to do with putting Trump in the White House. They didn't vote for Trump. They voted for Kamala Harris. And you have people who didn't vote at all. And I'm one of those people who didn't vote. So, yeah, I'll tell you why I chose not to vote back in 2024. Because I saw the option of choosing between Donald J. Trump or Donald John Trump and Kamala Harris. And I don't like either one of them. Yeah. Donald Trump is all about being a dictator and making rich people richer. And Kamala Harris, well, I'm going to say this. Both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris and both political parties here in the U.S., the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, they're both for the same interest. They're both for the status quo. And that's why I didn't want to vote. Now, if there was a candidate, I say who was on the Democratic side, who has Bernie Sanders style policies, and views on the U.S., I'm gonna focus on his policies. If you have a Bernie Sanders like candidate who has progressive democratic socialist policies, then I'll vote for that person. Sign me up. But if the Democratic Party can't offer that to me, then there's no point in me voting. And I sure as hell isn't going to vote for the Republican Party. No siree. So I just want to clear the air on that. So the people who voted for Donald Trump, they dug a grave for themselves, and they got a lie in it. And the people who didn't vote for Donald Trump and the people who didn't vote at all, they have nothing to do with that. So, just want to clear the air on that. Don't want to lump everybody in the same boat. So there. Okay. So that's all I gotta say in this video. More videos to come. Cheers and au revoir. Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.